Today I'm going to make a deep hair conditioner using Making Cosmetics Hair Restore. Pause to read, and the formula for this will be on my Patreon, which is linked below. Hair conditioner can actually be quite challenging and complex to formulate properly. I've got a lovely deep conditioner that I formulated from scratch over on Patreon a while back. However, this is a lot simpler, and we make use of Making Cosmetics pre-mixed Ice Hair Restore. This is a blend of conditioners, emulsifiers and thickeners, and it aims to produce a beautiful deep conditioner when blended with water, emollients and additives of your choice. Heating isn't necessary for this formulation, and Making Cosmetics suggest either room temperature, or if you like, you can use hot water. I'd only do this if you intend to add butters or things that need to melt, because this seemed to work fine at room temperature and it's far less effort. So first of all, I've got my beaker of distilled water, and to that I'm adding some argan oil. Argan oil is something that smooths, adds shine, tames frizz, and also helps to promote healthy hair, which is why we're adding it here. As you can see, I'm adding it directly into the water because we can make this as an all-in-one beaker product. You don't need to separate the phases if you don't want to. It is the Ice Hair Restore that's going to emulsify everything together. So after the argan oil, I am adding some macadamia oil. You can of course switch these out if you want to use a different oil. It's completely up to you. I'm using macadamia because it smooths, adds shine and tames frizz. I just really like using it in products. So again, I'm just adding that straight into the water. You can see clearly this is why we need emulsifiers, because oil and water don't mix. The oil just floats around on the top. So I'm just going to finish adding that, and then we'll need to weigh out our Ice Hair Restore, which is our main ingredient. I'm going to measure this out separately as it's a powder. I'm also putting on a respirator because although not that floaty, I like to wear one when I'm using quite fine powders, and I'd not used this before, so I wasn't sure quite how fine it was going to be. This is what it looks like. It's a fine white powder, it's all ground down. The recommended usage rate of Ice Hair Restore is between 3 and 10%, with a general usage suggested at 5%. I've upped this to make more of a thicker mask type conditioner and to compensate for the extra additives and fragrance that I'm adding, just to make sure it all emulsifies properly. You can go with whatever you like. This is what it looks like, and we literally just add this to our water and oils, and then it will be stick blended to create our emulsion. No heat, no melting needed. Before we do that, I'm going to prepare phase B. Technically, you could probably do this all in one phase, but I'm going to separate it out just in case you want to add butters into phase A and heat any of the ingredients. So what I'm adding to phase B is my preservative, which I'm adding phenoxyl ethanol EHG, preservative 12. This is an ideal broad spectrum preservative for conditioners. If you're using herbal additives that are more prone to microbial growth, then use the maximum percentage of 1.1% like I used here. Then I add a fragrance. You can add any fragrance you like. I'm only adding a tiny bit just for a slight scent, and I have used Craftiful's Sweet Orange and Marshmallow, which just smells divine. And then I'm adding my star ingredient, which is my phytokeratin. This is a plant-sourced alternative to animal keratin, and it improves dry processed hair, makes it more manageable, restores hair health, and also adds shine. So that's a fantastic ingredient for your conditioner. And now we stick blend, and this is where, as usual, I've done a 100 g batch because I don't like wasting ingredients if I'm trying something for the first time, but I would advise using a bigger batch because it was very hard to stick blend and get it all blended, and I did have to move the shear mixer around a lot, which I also don't recommend. So if you're making this, I'd do at least 200 grams, if not more. If you want to know how to convert percentages into grams, etc., then I have a video on that. I'll link that below. And this is what you end up with when you've stick blended it. It's a beautiful thick cream. Obviously you can reduce the thickness of this by using less of the ice restore, but make sure that you're adjusting your oils, etc., and everything to compensate, because you want to make sure that it's properly emulsified. But so far so good. It smells just as you'd expect, just a normal conditioner. So we are going to add in some fragrance. Like I said, I'm using Craftiful Sweet Orange and Marshmallow because those fragrances are just insanely good. So no waiting for the cool down phase, we can add that in straight away. And technically you could shear mix it, but because I was finding that very difficult, I am going to do this by hand, just as I would a normal cool down phase. Just make sure you mix it really, really, really thoroughly. Once you're happy that you've combined it well enough, you will need to go in and take the pH if you want to, especially if you're using pH sensitive ingredients, additives and things. I do have a video about pH, that's linked below. I checked this, I didn't have to adjust it, it came in at 5.15, which is fine for me and fine for the ingredients I used. So I was happy to jar that up. And I've just got these little 100 g jars that I got off Amazon. So what I'll do is I'll fill up this jar, and then we'll do a little test on some extension hair. The reason I tend to use extension hair for things like this is because hair extension hair has often been through quite a bit of processing, or at least been coloured. Therefore, it without using it on my own hair, it is quite representative of sort of damaged normal hair in most cases. So it's good to test extensions for shampoo and conditioner, because you'll get quite a realistic review of how they perform before trialing it on yourself. Anyway, I'm using this, it's feeling so silky as I'm pulling it through the hair. As I rinse it, it's really easy to rinse. It feels really silky soft. So I guess the proof will be when I dry it, and I don't style it or anything. I'll just rough dry the hair so that we get the best representation of how this works. And I'm really impressed. This was just rough dried and it is like silk. It is absolutely beautiful and it smells so good. Again, that fragrance oil is just insane. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this ice hair restore. It felt a bit like cheating originally, but actually there's a lot of things you can add to it to change how it is. So I'd class it more as an ingredient blend than a base. Really love it. Give the recipe a try if you want to. The whole formula and everything and blog to go with it is on my Patreon, linked below. There you'll find all of my formulas with printable PDFs and blog format that tells you a bit more about the ingredients and what I thought of everything. And you'll also get 2 exclusive patron-only videos a month, so it's well worth joining everyone else on there. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.